Cambodian strongman Hun Sen is tightening his grip on power ahead of the general election next month. Voters can no longer cast their ballots for the main opposition party because it was dissolved last November. Cambodians living in Japan are calling on voters in their homeland to boycott the poll. NHK World's Kazuaki Hirama reports.
Over 1,000 Cambodians gathered on Sunday in Tokyo. They marched downtown, demanding that Prime Minister Hun Sen step down. And they urged voters back home to stay away from polling stations.
I can't accept that the National Rescue Party is not participating in the election.
The international community accuses Hun Sen of undermining democracy in his country. The Prime Minister claimed the main opposition Cambodian National Rescue Party was plotting to topple the government. The Supreme Court ordered that it be dissolved, leaving no major opposition party to challenge the regime. Hai Wan-na organized the protest. He works in Japan as an economic consultant. He asked his friends to take part and made placards and banners. Hai Wan-na came to Japan 10 years ago as an exchange student. He says that when he thought about his family and friends back home, he knew he had to make his voice heard.
Being as a Cambodian, if we are not helping anything toward our society, I felt the same of myself. So I am presenting the Cambodian here in Japan. Not every Cambodian, but most of the people who is hunger of democracies.
Some protesters posted videos of their activities on Facebook, asking their friends to share them as widely as possible. This is how they hope to get their message across to Cambodians back home and persuade friends in Japan to join their cause. Well, this crowd of protesters includes asylum seekers here in Japan. They say they came within the last couple of years to escape persecution. Chien Narit is one of them. He says that after he took part in an anti-government protest in Cambodia, he started getting threatening voicemails on Facebook.
Now, in Cambodia, participants in the protests, National Rescue Party activists, land activists, environmental activists, are all being detained by the government.
The protesters criticized Japan for continuing to offer support for the election, although the US and the EU have withdrawn their assistance. They demanded that Japan use its leverage as the biggest provider of aid to Cambodia among democratic nations.
We want to call the government of Japan to stop supporting the National Election Committee. And also we want to call the government of Japan to stop supporting the election. And also we want to call the government of Japan to publicly, officially announce not to recognize the same election that will be held in July.
Cambodia has been walking the path of democracy since 1993, when it held its first general election after a civil war. Cambodians in Japan are joining hands to try to preserve that legacy. Kazuaki Hirama, NHK World, Tokyo.